The first of the 7 critical mistakes is a real biggie. It's in fact, I think, the biggest one I see amongst the people that I've worked with over the years, and it's this: thinking that public speaking is all about the speaker. Which it isn't. It may seem obvious this, but whether you're a super confident presenter or whether you're a not so confident presenter, it's a very easy trap to fall into. You see, for speakers who are more confident, there can very easily be that sense of, right, I need to do a good job here, everyone's going to be looking at me and I've got to be strong and I've got to really make sure I get this right, and putting real focus and attention on their performance and how they're going to do. Equally, for people at the more nervous end of the spectrum, and again, you or people that you know may have had this experience, there's a tendency to, worry, what if I get it wrong, and does my bum look big in this, and oh gosh, is my face going red? There's all sorts of things that can crop up in the mind of the speaker. In both cases, what these two very different sets of thought process have in common is that they are focus notice on the speaker. If you think about it, nervousness is a self-centered emotion. The worrying about whether I'm delivering this slide exactly as I rehearsed. Notice I'm worrying about myself and how I rehearsed, rather than on what's most important and what the audience cares most about, which is the audience. It's such a simple thing to say, isn't it? The idea that speaking is all about the audience rather than about the speaker, but it's true. It's a bit like in the world of business. It's very easy to say, we have an organization that's client-centric. It's customer-centric. It's easy to say that, but actually making that a reality is challenging. So the tip I have to offer for you here is to find ways in which to ensure your focus is on what's important, which is what's in it for the audience. And I've got some ideas that I can offer to you. And I have to be honest with you, I've been guilty of getting too wrapped up in myself too. If you have this experience, rest assured, I know I have, so I'm not pointing fingers here. In fact, it wasn't until I went to the World Championships of Public Speaking for the second time that I finally clocked the idea that it wasn't really about me. It's not that the spotlight is on the stage, the spotlight is on the audience. So in terms of mindset, first idea for you is to adopt what I call an I'm looking at them mindset. So rather than, that all eyes are on me, I've got this audience looking at me, that can tend to make you feel almost like you are literally on stage, the focus of attention, and one can easily then sort of find oneself feeling a bit like a performing monkey. I've got to make sure I do all this right. Instead of reaching out, your mindset, I suggest, will be at its best if you are seeking in your mind, literally reaching out into the audience, looking at them, gauging how they're reacting, seeking to do everything you can to stay connected to what they may or may not be thinking. One very practical way in which you can do that is through the use of language. Consider your use of the word you. Because if you think about it, if you use the word you just that little bit more, what you do is you start to orient your ideas, your mental process more towards your listener than towards yourself. And if you're listening, you'll notice there are a lot of yous in what I'm saying. You may wish to just rewind and listen back to them. It's such a simple thing. Of course, you can overuse the word you, but there's a balance to be struck. I and we are great. They have their place. But the word you, at least in English, is a very neat way in which to reach out on what's most important. Final thing, just in terms of your mental focus when preparing for a presentation, allow some time to remind yourself of what you're seeking to achieve for the audience. How can you be helpful? Your helpfulness is your value. That's what the audience is most interested in, because let's be honest, right now you probably don't care how nervous I am. Why would you? You care about whether or not this video is going to be a worthwhile investment of your time for the minutes it takes you to watch it. And if you're still watching, I salute you. You've stayed engaged right the way through to the end of this video, because rest assured, it's going to finish very shortly. But the point is that the same is true for every audience you engage for the rest of your career. They care about how you can be of value to them, not whether you feel nervous or not, or whether the delivery you are running through is an exact replica of what you had prepared in your rehearsal studio. It's a live event. So, suggestions. Have an I'm looking at them mindset rather than a they're looking at me mindset. Record yourself and do a you count. See if you could sprinkle in a few more yous, especially early on, to ensure that you are explicitly reaching out to the audience. And then finally, remember, focus on how you can be helpful to them, because that's what will ensure that your presentation is taken on board, well received, and as a result acted on to the benefit of your reputation, the reputation of your organisation, and the reputation of your brand, if that's appropriate. And yes, you'll have noticed there are a lot of yous in what I've just been saying. Have fun with it, take it away, and we'll speak soon.